East versus West. Scratch that. The American East and West Coast have previously been compared on many other YouTube videos. So let's look at this slightly differently and split the USA into 5 different countries to see what that would look like. Today we'll be looking at the Mountain States of America, the Pacific States of America, the South States of America, the Heartland States of America, and the Northeast States of America. Will these offspring of the mighty USA create 5 new super countries? Well, let's find out. Oh, and by the way, welcome to Urbsology. My name is Urbs, and this is some ology on splitting the USA into 5 new countries. Obviously, the USA is an economic powerhouse and the world's only superpower. But it's always fun to theorize and hypothesize on how things might be and what might happen. So, in the ultimate state-by-state secession, we have California, Washington, Oregon, Alaska, and Hawaii making up the Pacific region, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Utah, Colorado, Nevada, Arizona, and New Mexico forming the Mountain region, Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, North and South Carolina, Virginia, Kentucky, and Tennessee forming the South, Michigan, Ohio, West Virginia, Illinois, Indiana, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, Missouri, North and South Dakota, and Kansas making up the Heartlands, and Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, and the District of Columbia forming the Northwest. So, America's current 333 million population would see 53.2 million in the Pacific, 25.5 million in the mountains, 70.5 million in the heartlands, 64.9 million in the Northeast, and a whopping 119 million in our new South region, which means that over a third of the population currently resides in our southern state. The Pacific population would have just over 1 million square miles, which accounts for 26.6% of America's landmass. This is followed by the South with 881,000 square miles, which is roughly 23.2%. The Mountaineers would have 864,000 square miles, or 22.7%, and the Heartlands would be roaming across 846,000 square miles, which equates to 22.3% of the current USA. However, our Northeasterners will be a little bit more cramped with only 5.2% of the current land share, which equates to 196,000 square miles. But we shouldn't feel too bad for our Northeast. It would have a booming economy of 5.9 trillion. In fact, given the USA is the world's biggest economy, and assuming it would no longer take the number 1 spot, the Northeast would become the 3rd biggest economy in the world, just behind China, which would move to number 1, and our new South would be number 2 in the world with a GDP of 8.4 trillion. In fact, 4 of our 5 new regions would take up the top 5 richest economies in the world, with the Heartland taking the number 4 spot with a GDP of 5.2 trillion. The Pacific would take number 5 with a GDP of 5 trillion, and our mountain region would become the 15th richest economy in the world, just behind Russia and just ahead of South Korea. It only sits so low because the 4/5 of the USA have been taken up by 4 extra spaces, which just shows how strong the US economy really is. And what's making these economies so strong is the employment rates. Here we can see all of our 5 new regions have employment rates ranging from 59% to 62%, and with the exception of the Pacific's 4%, all of our regions have unemployment rates of just 3%. Obviously, we're anticipating that our 5 new regions will remain allies and friends, and likely act as a united front against a foreign aggressor. However, their military might is split quite differently. The South has the most military personnel with almost 540,000, followed by the Pacific with 230,000, and our other 3 regions are equally matched with 86 to 88,000 apiece. However, as we would expect, our landlocked mountain and heartland regions are vastly smaller navies compared to our coastline regions, with the Pacific and South particularly strong at sea. Our primary language across all of our nations will be English as a first language. This is closely followed by Spanish in our South and Pacific regions, and we see a similar split on religion. All of our regions are strongly Protestant and Catholic. However, this varies by region, with the Pacific and Northeast being 34% Protestant, followed by the Mountaineers who are 36% Protestant, but it's our heartland with over 51% and the South with 59%. Our new region's ethnic makeups would also be split interestingly, with the Pacific being 42% Caucasian, 4.7% Black or African American, 32.4% Hispanic or Latino, and 13.9% Asian, with 7.1% making up other ethnicities such as Native American, Native Alaskan, or Native Pacific Islanders. Our mountain region would be 60% Caucasian, 3.7% Black or African American, 24.9% Hispanic or Latino, 3.5% Asian, and 7.5% in other. The South would be 54.1% Caucasian, 17.8% Black or African American, 19.5% Hispanic or Latino, 3.6% Asian, and 5% other. Our heartlands are 73% Caucasian, 10% Black or African American, 8.5% Hispanic or Latino, 3.4% Asian, and 5% other. And our northeast region is 60.3% Caucasian, 13% Black or African American, 14.8% Hispanic or Latino, 7.1% Asian, 4.8% other. And if we look at presidential election votes since the turn of the millennium, we can gain an understanding at which side of the political pendulum our new regions may be governed by determining if a state voted either red or blue at each election. We can determine over the last 6 elections, 2000, 2004, 2008, 2012, 2016 and 2020, our Pacific region would have voted Democratic 80% of the time. With our mountain and south region, it would have been a Republican win each of the 6 elections. Our heartland would have returned Republican in 2000 and 2004. They would have switched to Democratic in 2008, and since then it would have been a Republican government. And last but not least, our northeast region would have also returned a Democratic government to the last 6 elections. In fact, in terms of states won, the Democrats would have won 80% of the time in the Pacific region, 97% of the time in the Northeast region, and mountain would have been 29% to the Democrats, 71% to the Republicans. In our Heartland region, 36% to the Democrats, 64% to the Republicans, and in the South it would have been a whopping 90% win for the Republican Party. We of course need to ensure that each of our new countries has its own capital city. In our Heartland region, our 3 biggest cities are Chicago, Columbus and Detroit, and with Columbus already being the state capital of Ohio, it already has a seat of government and would be the logical choice to be the capital. In our mountain region, Phoenix, Denver and Salt Lake City are our 3 biggest cities, and given that Phoenix is the biggest and also the current state capital of Arizona, it makes sense to be the capital city of our new country, the Mountain States of America. Our northeast region has many economic and census powerhouses, including New York, Philadelphia, Boston, and Washington, D.C. Although New York and Philadelphia are vastly bigger than Washington, Washington is already the capital of the current United States, so it makes no sense to change this, meaning that it will become the new capital city of the Northeast States of America. In our Pacific region, Los Angeles and Seattle are by far the 2 biggest cities. However, with Sacramento also being the current capital of California and holding a population of over 500,000, it would be logical that would become the new capital city of the Pacific States of America. And last we have our South region, which is plentiful with cities with massive populations like Houston, Jacksonville, Atlanta and Charlotte. However, given that Austin is the current capital of Texas and is ideally set up and placed to become the new capital of our country, Austin is the logical choice to become the capital of the South States of America. And there we have it. I hope you've enjoyed this hypothetical theorization of what it might be like to split up the United States into 5 new countries. Of course, it was just for fun, and we want the United States to remain intact forever. But if you've enjoyed this hypothetical split, please like and subscribe this video, or drop us a comment down below if you disagree with any of the capitals that we've decided on. Otherwise, join us next time. Thanks for watching.